This video is brought to you by PhpStorm. As developers, most of the time our websites perform some kind of an action based on a user clicking a button or typing data. But there are some things we need to be able to do outside of the normal web request flow. For example, we should be running our backups at least once a day, we should have something automatically applying system updates, and we'll want to send an email to users who haven't logged in recently, maybe to entice them to come back. The cron system installed on almost every Unix-based operating system provides the solution for this. In this video, we'll discuss what cron can do for us, how to create a basic schedule job, and some more advanced topics related to cron. Hello developers, and welcome to the PHP Architect channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Scott Keck-Warren, and on this channel we discuss a wide variety of topics related to the PHP ecosystem. Make sure you subscribe so you can get our latest videos when they're published. In Unix system administration, the cron system is an invaluable tool for scheduling and automating tasks. Cron is a time-based job scheduler for Unix. It allows users to schedule commands or scripts to run at specific times or at intervals. The cron system consists of two main components, the cron daemon and the cron table. The cron daemon runs continuously in the background and executes scheduled tasks, while the cron table contains a list of tasks and their scheduling information. Now, each user on a Unix system can have their own cron tab file. To create or modify cron jobs, you will need to work with a cron tab command. I should say there may be differences in the way that my cron tab command works in comparison to how your cron tab. This is due to slight differences in how cron might be implemented in different versions of Unix. To start, we'll check to see what's currently in our cron tab by running cron tab-l. In this case, we have nothing. Now, to create or edit the cron tab, we'll run cron tab-e. This should launch into your terminal's default editor. For my setup, this is Vim. Each row of the file will be a unique cron entry, and each cron entry consists of 6 fields that will determine when and how a task should run. To get started, we'll use a super simple example, which will just be to enter 5 asterisks and then a command to run date and append those results to the cron.log file in the home directory of the current user. This will cause the date command to be run every minute and then pipe its output into that file. Now save the file and exit the editor, and you should see the following message. To check that our cron tab was installed, we can run the cron tab with that -l argument again to have it list its contents. Now let's see our results. We can use the tail command with the -f argument to see the output of the cron job in real time. Now, I don't want to have this running forever, so I'll reset my cron tab using the -r command line switch. Be careful with this, as it deletes your cron tab without prompting to make sure that's what you want. Just to complete a roundup of the cron tab command, there's one more switch that's important to discuss, and that's the -u argument, which will allow us to edit someone else's cron tab file. For example, to edit the www-data users file, we would run sudo cron tab-e-u www-data. More after this word from our sponsor. PhpStorm is a cutting-edge IDE tailored specifically for PHP and web developers. If you haven't used it before, or it's been a while since you last tried it, now's the perfect time to check it out. PhpStorm has recently received significant performance enhancements and has an ever-expanding feature set. Now, I'm a recent convert to PhpStorm and I love it. One of my favorite features is the ability to select a section of code and extract it into a new method without having to do any of the hard lifting. Curious if it's a right fit for you? Head to jetbrains.com/phpstorm to learn more and try it out with a free 30-day trial. Code smarter, not harder. So we did the most basic cron job to get us started, but cron is more powerful than just running the same job every minute. I glossed over the significance of the 5 asterisks in the job that we created, but those 5 asterisks are the 5 fields that control when our job should run. The fields control the minute, hour, day of the month, and day of the week that the job should run. The day of the week field is a number between 0 and 7, where both 0 and 7 represent Sunday for some reason. Each field can have multiple values separated by commas or specified as ranges using hyphens. We can also use an asterisk to represent all possible values for the field and a / to specify a step value within a range. Let's work through some examples. To run a command every day at 7 a.m., we would put a 0 in the minute field, a 7 in the hour field, and asterisks in every other field. To run a command every 15 minutes, we would use the asterisk, / 15, and then asterisk in the other 4 fields. To run a script every Monday at 8 p.m., we would put a 1 in the day of the week field. To run a command on the 1st and 15th of every month at midnight, we'll put a 1, 15 in the day of the month field, and zeros for the hour and minute, and then asterisks for the final 2 fields. Finally, to run every January 1st at midnight, we'll put zeros in the hour and minutes fields, and 1s in the month and day of the month fields. On top of the fact that every user has their cron tab, there's also a system-wide cron tab file that's usually located at /etc/cron tab. This is where I like to put all of my cron jobs that aren't related to a specific user and are instead something related to something that needs to happen at a system level, like backups. To make changes to this cron tab, we'll edit the file directly using vim/etc/cron tab. This file has an extra field that indicates the user under which the command should be run. This acts just as if the user had logged in, so the command will get the same permissions. I highly recommend you not run a command as root if you can prevent it, but it's sometimes unavoidable. Now, in some variants of Unix, a new system is starting to replace cron called systemd. It does a lot more than cron does and is significantly more powerful, but it's not as widespread, and it's not always available if you're using some kind of a shared hosting provider. That being said, I'm sure we'll cover it in a future video. As an application developer, you might find it a challenge to manage all of your cron jobs inside of a single file. I once managed an application that had 50+ scheduled jobs that we maintained through the cron tab. Because there was no peer review of this file, every so often somebody would accidentally delete one of the jobs and it would fail until somebody noticed. Usually it was a customer asking why they hadn't received an email that made us look into it. Now, there are 2 solutions to this problem. The first is that you can manage your cron tab file inside of your source code using something easy like copying the file over to the server, or something a little more complex like Ansible, Puppet, or Docker. This is an acceptable solution, but it does complicate our deployment a little, and I don't like to do that. The second solution is to manage your jobs inside of your application. You can have a single cron job that you don't have to touch, and then configure the scheduled jobs using your application code. This is the approach that Laravel uses, and it can be very powerful, as we're given extra control over how and where the jobs will run. To recap, cron is a Unix tool for scheduling and automating tasks. We will use the cron tab command to modify our files, use application code to manage jobs for more power and control. I hope you enjoyed our video. If so, make sure you subscribe, comment, share, and like, as it does help others find us. Are there topics you would like to see us cover? Let us know in the comments below, or send me a message on Twitter and phpc.social @ScottKeckWarren. We would love to hear how we can help you, and it always brightens my day when I hear from a fan. This is Scott Keck-Warren for the PHP Architect channel signing off, and reminding you to keep watching, keep coding, and keep reading.